Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvadaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupini Avatara Vishaya Ramakrishna Janani Sarada Tapovan Ramakrishna Jagadguru Parvati Prayositva Pranamami Namo. Namaste Yadinaraya Vivekananda Swami Sachit Sukasvarupaya Swami Sarvapriyananda. Our very dear Sarvapriyananda and the some devotees. So the historic moment, because for the first time in India we have created a facility exclusively for devotees, you can say. Nobody we have like this. And this is the beginning, a great beginning of many such retreats. So being participants in the first retreat, you understand what a great occasion you are all part of. And we also are all very lucky because we have with us Swami Sarvapriyananda, one of the, in our order, the most followed Swami. Perhaps on YouTube is only next to Sadhguru, I think. Anyway, the point is, I know him practically from the days he joined. And all his name and famous have not touched him away in the days. He continues to see him in person. And he has taken for discussion a very beautiful book, The Advaita Makaranda, which he translates in some places as the honey of Advaita. Makaranda also means nectar. It's a Prakarana Grantha, or the ocean grade school, where the author Lakshmidhar Kavi proves that this moment, every day, in and through all your actions, you are like an animal. You do not have to seek it separately, go elsewhere, do anything else. Your very daily life, the actions, the activities, your participation, all that are virtually in that sense. So, of course, it's not so popular in text, but awareness is making it very popular. And he will explain it very beautifully. I also heard some of his talks on that. That's why I chose that, because I listened to it. So be attentive, and then I'm sure the next year brought your mobile. And then at the end of each session, he says he will give some 15 minutes or so question answer. So now it's all went deep into this Advaita Makaranda. Namaskar.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om Peace, Peace. Pranam Surya Maharaj, and namaste and good morning to all those who have gathered here for this historic retreat. This place, Devabhumi, is areas of the Himalayas, known as the land of the gods. There is a special atmosphere in these places, which makes this, which carries the fragrance of spirituality, which makes this knowledge real and somehow easier of grasp here. It's true everywhere, but it's somehow easier of grasp here. When you go to Tirtha Kshetras, you immediately feel the atmosphere. Am I audible?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. So you immediately feel the atmosphere of a Tirtha Kshetra. If you go to Banaras, if you go to Vrindavan, if you enter Belur Math, you immediately feel the atmosphere. And there is this atmosphere here which is pervasive throughout the Himalayas. I remember, I was just telling Maharaj yesterday, about 20 years ago. Yes, I think it opened maybe locked also. I was just telling Maharaj that about 20 years ago, I was in Gangotri, just about 200 kilometers from here, further north upwards. And there, will you be comfortable there? You should sit in the chair.
No, there's something.
Will you be comfortable?
Yes, sorry.
Alright. As in Gangotri, and I used to spend most of my time either in meditation, this is japa and jnana, or in study. I remember I was devouring the Mandukya Karika at that time, and not much to do, cold climate, very light and nice food, so you don't get much sleep at night. After some time you get up, how much time could you spend meditating? So I would study. At first I would get candles from the nearby market near the temple. There is a shop, and light 4 or 5 candles and put the book in between and read for hours and hours at night until a monk nearby, Punjabi Sadhu, he said to me, "Aankh kharab ho jayegi Mahatma ji. You will spoil your eyes that way. Take this." He gave me a lantern so that I could study. Now one day I was talking to a group of monks. We were sitting together. One of the monks was telling me that दिन में पढ़िए रात को भजन कीजिए महात्मा जी. Meditate at night and study in the morning. Don't study at night so much. They are worried about me. And then, yes, I got quite a reputation. One of our monks, he came to find the Ramakrishna Mission monks, came to find me in Gangotri. He was passing by. He knew that I was there. He asked, "Where is that Dubla Cloud? Where is that?" And somebody near the marketplace said, "Oh, जो बहुत पढ़ते हैं." The one who reads a lot. Yes, that one. So this monk said, "रात को भजन कीजिए, दिन में पढ़िए. Please study in the morning and meditate at night." Another monk who was sitting there, I didn't say anything, but another monk was sitting there, very interesting, Swami. After the others had left, actually we went down to that cottage. That monk told me, "नहीं महात्मा जी, आप ठीक कर रहे हैं. जो उधर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रही, इधर समझ में आ रही. That you will not understand in the plains of India when you are studying there. The same Vedanta you study here, you will grasp it." So there is an atmosphere here. I was just looking out from the magnificent view we have here, and from the window upstairs, I was looking out at the view, rolling hills, row after row of these mountains. And I was thinking the verses that we will study in this book, there is 28 verses. Each of them is like one of these mountains. Profound, deep, powerful, life transformative, impressive. So, I'm glad that we have this opportunity here, thanks to the vision, the initiative, the fundraising, the hard work of Maharaj and his team. So, and that's important because I remember in my days in Gangotri, it was about 20 years ago, almost exactly 20 years ago. Come on in. I remember, so we have to go and, as monks, we have to go for our food twice a day to Ramakshetra. There was no running water, there was no electricity, it was freezing cold, and there was no furniture also in that little cottage where I stayed. I had two, two blankets on the floor as my bed and 2 blankets on my body and 1 blanket rolled up as my pillow. It was so dark at night, if I waved my hands, I couldn't understand whether my eyes were open or closed. It didn't make any difference. Only light you saw it, there was this static electricity which would jump from your woolies, from your sweater. So, and freezing cold, no hot water. There was an ice melted stream. We all know this Darda tin. I don't know if you still get it. It was one that was a bucket. And I have to fill up this ice melted water in that bucket and then pour it over my head. That was the bath. And before that, to screw up my courage, I would chant, Chidananda Rupa Shiva, Viman Shankara, Manoha Vinanda, not the mind, not the body, not the food, and so forth. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, I am the nature of the consciousness and bliss, and Shiva I am, then whoosh, go on. However, we have spared all that. We have a warm bed to sleep in, good food to eat, warm water, electricity, and all the amenities and comforts. And so we should use this time to focus on this knowledge. This is the Mark Twain said, India, there is only 1 millionaire in the world of religion, and that is India. Only 1 millionaire in the world of religion, that is India. And in this world of religion, the highest, final, the most ancient teachings are found in the Upanishads, which we call Vedanta. Upanishad Nama Vedanta. Vedanta Nama Upanishad Pramana. Vedanta is verily the source of spiritual knowledge called the Upanishads. And we know, based on the Upanishad, multiple traditions of Vedanta have emerged. Among them, Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita Vedanta, Dvaita Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Achintya Vedanta. These are the primary schools of Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta, the non-dual Vedanta, that is very like the Himalayas among the Vedanta schools, towering above all of them. And in Advaita Vedanta, you have the commentaries of Adi Shankaracharya, who wrote the Bhashya on the Brahma Sutras, on the 10 Upanishads, arguably 11, on the Bhagavad Gita. So the Prasthantrayi Bhashya commentaries, and then multiple what are called introductory texts or manuals of Vedanta, which are called Prakarana Granthas, many of which were written over the last 1,200 years, Shankara and post-Shankara Advaitins, among which we have the one which we are going to study in the next few days, this one. Remember, whatever the text, whether it is the Shankara's Brahma Sutra Bhashya, commentary on the Brahma Sutra, which is foundational for Advaita Vedanta, or this little text, Advaita Makaranda, they all have the same message. That way, Advaita Vedanta is very elegant. It has the same message. It's a simple and direct message. What is that message? It can be expressed in one sentence, half a verse, as Shankaracharya says. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napada. Brahman alone is real, the world is an appearance, and Jiva, sentient beings, you and I, we are none other than Brahman. It can be compressed even further in the profound Upanishadic sentences, which in Advaita Vedanta we call Mahavakya, the great sentences. Tattvamasi, that thou art, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma, this very consciousness which we feel right now, that is Brahma, the ultimate non-dual reality. I am Atma Brahma, this very self is Brahma. So these are traditionally the 4 Mahavakyas which are taken. They all express the same thing. You can make it even more compact, even more compressed, and just say Om. Om itself means the same thing. So, this grand teaching of Advaita Vedanta, this grand identity, Atman is equal to Brahman, that is the simple teaching which is contained in all Advaitic texts. That way, this vast literature, it's so wonderful that it can be compressed into one sentence, into half a sentence, into just Om. Now, these Prakarana Granthas, these texts are of many kinds. Some of them introduce us to the entire system of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is also a system of philosophy. Sometimes people have erroneous or partial conceptions. Somebody says that Advaita Vedanta is not a philosophy. I understand what they are trying to say when they say it's not a philosophy. But you should say it's not just a philosophy. Because After all, in our philosophy text, Indian philosophy text, isn't there a chapter of Advaita Vedanta? In your philosophy departments in colleges and universities, Darshana Vibhag, isn't Advaita Vedanta taught? So how are you saying it's not a philosophy? And that reflects lack of clear thinking. Yes, it's much more than a system of philosophy. But as a system of philosophy, some Prakarana Granthas teach that system of philosophy. The entire system is set up. So for example, Vedanta Sara, Sadananda Yogendra. That's the text which is used to introduce us. So don't stand there too often because you'll obstruct the view of people behind you. Vedanta Sara, it's a text used to introduce us to the entire system of Vedanta. कुछ बोलना है? We need to minimize the coming sentence. There are other texts, like Vivek Chodamani, which introduces you to the whole of Advaita Vedanta. Some texts are like Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra Samgita, then Avadhuta Gita. These are texts which are sort of final. What I mean by final is this. The method of Advaita Vedanta is called Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. We hear, we study, that is Shravana. We systematically study Vedanta, that's Shravana, from a teacher. When you study it, you get the information. What does Vedanta say? Now that I've studied Vedanta, any text of Vedanta, I know what Vedanta wants to say. But I have many questions, many doubts. So, the next stage is Manana, where we raise these doubts, these questions, and they are answered. So, a stage of cogitation, of reasoning, Manana, where we try to understand. And then finally, there is a stage where we have heard the teachings, we have reasoned it out. We can also say, I have understood it. But then we complain, it's not real in my life. How do you make it real in living? So you bear down upon what you have studied and understood. This is called the Vedanta, the non-dual meditation, Nididhyasana, Vedantic meditation. When I say I do not know about Brahman, about the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, that do not know is removed by Shravana. Because after Shravana, after hearing, studying, you should not say I do not know. You should say I know. You may qualify it by saying I know it theoretically, I just know the information, I don't get it yet. But you have to say I know. So that is removed. That question, I don't know, that is gone. I know. Now, second doubt may be, a second level of problem may be that I don't get it. I know it, but my knowing is full of doubts. It lacks clarity, it lacks sharpness. So that thing, when then I have knowledge, I know something, but it's doubtful. The doubts are removed in the second stage, Manana. After Manana, we can no longer say that I don't know it, I don't understand it. I know it, I understand it. But then finally, there's something that my life is still the same. After all, the goal of Advaita Vedanta, Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti Paramananda Praptischa, complete cessation of sorrow and attainment of lasting peace, bliss. That is not coming. The goal is not coming. So this is called Viparita Bhavana. Contrary tendencies are still there in my life. I still behave as if I am a little body-mind. Although I say I have heard that I am Brahman, and I also understand now how I am Brahman, but I still behave like the same person. Therefore, this third stage, that problem of contrary tendencies, that's removed by Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasana. So the three things, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, what do they do? We should be able to say, Shravana removes the first question, I don't know what is Vedanta. That problem is removed by Shravana. Second, I have doubts. I have heard it, but I have many questions, many doubts. That is removed by Manana. Third, I know it and I understand it, but still it's not real in my life. I can't live it. That contrary tendency, my knowledge is one thing, my life is another thing, that is removed by Vedantic meditation, non-dual meditation. Why I am saying all this is, some texts are meant for Shravan, which will give you the information, will teach you Vedanta in detail of these Prakarana Granthas. Then some texts are heavily oriented towards Manana. There are recondite texts like very difficult, subtle arguments, Advaita Siddhi, Khandana Khanda Katya, Chitsukhi, Tattva, all these, and many others also. You will see they are full of arguments. So questions are raised by us from various philosophical perspectives, questions are raised. And then those are answered. So full of arguments. That's the second kind of text. There is a third kind of text like the Ashtavakra Gita, the Avadutta Gita, which are final texts in the sense they already assume you know basic Vedanta. They do not try to argue anything. Just the conclusion of Vedanta, that you are Brahman, that is repeated 100 times, 200 times. Same thing is told to us in a grand monotony, again and again. What's the purpose? For somebody who has grasped Vedanta, a text like that helps us in Vedantic meditation. If you read the text, it's equal to Vedantic meditation. With understanding, if you read that. Something like Ashtavakra Gita, Avadutta Gita, and so on. Now this text it occupies an interesting position between Manana and Nididhyasana. This one. In one sense, it's a Manana Grantha. The author, who is a poet, Lakshmidhara Kavi, has explained Vedanta through arguments, through a battery, a series, a sequence of arguments. So it's a Manana Grantha, argument subject. But also it's Nididhyasana, Vedantic meditation, because it continuously points us back to our experience. What experience? Just this. Here you are sitting. Here we are in this place. This experience, any experience, the very experience of our life, which is something available to us, it continuously points it back to us. It continuously points out Brahman in our daily experience. So that is Nididhyasana. So it is both. You can think of it as a Manana Grantha, maybe it's sort of as a Manana Grantha. A little Manana Grantha, lightweight. There are very weight Manana Granthas, which will take months or years to complete. There's one, for example, Chitsukhi, one of our masters, Acharyas, Gaura Swami. So as long as I've known him, he was studying this text for 10, 12 years at least. I knew he was studying the same text. So there are such heavy duty texts. But this is much lighter. It contains the argument in a sense, and it points it back towards our experience. Now, couple of more introductory remarks. One is this text, Lakshmidhara Kavi's Advaita Makaranta. As Bharat said, it's not very popular, it was not very well known. I did not know about it until a few years ago. We have not studied it earlier. It became popular in recent times. I think one reason was in English. Swami Dayananda Saraswati of the Ashram Vidya Gurukul, he gave a series of classes on it. Then it was translated into English by Swami Tejomaya Mudriji of the Chinmay Mission. Then our own Atmarupanandaji made this beautiful translation which you have in your hands. Some from Houston, they know Swami Atmarupanandaji. And they said this retreat has a special resonance because someone was telling us of Swami Sarvapriyananda, and this book is translated by him. So now we have this book with a translation and nice commentary by Swami Sarvapriyananda. Lakshmidhara Kavi, we don't know too much about him. One source of information which Maharaj has given in this book is that he lived about 600 years ago in the south of India, and he was a poet. He has some other works to his credit. Among the spiritual works which he has to his credit is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Another one, Bhagavat Nam Kaumuti, a work on chanting the name of God. And this work, which is on Advaita Vedanta, which is Advaita Makaranta. Makaranta, by the way, means nectar or honey. Why honey? Like a bird, like bees go to different flowers and collect the essence of the flower and then make honey. So perhaps the poet wants to say he's like a bee, which has gone through many, many works of Advaita Vedanta, starting from the Upanishads, commentaries of Shankara and other masters, and he has collected it and made it into honey, which he has presented before us. So that's one meaning of the honey or nectar of non-duality, Advaita Vedanta. Another source tells us that he lived about 400 years ago. In Puri. So we have two versions. One is that he lived in the south of India, in the Vijayanagar kingdom. He is even supposed to have married the sister of Vidyaranya Swami, who wrote this great work, Panchadashi Mostra, Advaita Vedanta. It's a classic work of Advaita Vedanta. Later in life, he became a monk, and his name is supposed to have been Krishnendra. His guru's name was Ananda. Ananta. So this is what we know about him. Now, one more introductory observation, important when we enter Advaita Vedanta, then we will enter into the text itself. Spiritual paths are many. Advaita Vedanta is unique, and how it is unique, we must know. What I'm going to say now is like a key to unlock what Advaita Vedanta is. Without it, we will be confused because we have some general idea about spirituality, about spiritual paths. So we need to distinguish what Advaita Vedanta is from other paths. All paths are valid. That's Srinath's fundamental teaching. Jato man, tato kam. As many faiths, so many paths. All religions also lead you to enlightenment. And these different paths will also lead us to enlightenment. However, we need to know the uniqueness of each path. Then only we can take advantage of each path. So one of the most common paths is the path of devotion. Bhakti. That God exists. That there is some ultimate reality. You must depend on God, who is the creator, preserver, destroyer of this universe, who is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. So you have to have faith on God, love for God, worship God, and by God's grace, you will attain enlightenment. That is one path. The path of bhakti, there, the main thing is faith, belief, shraddha. The path of bhakti cannot start for us unless you have faith. In the very beginning, if you say, I don't believe in all this, then it will not start. It has to start with something. In fact, in America, the word for religion is faith. They use faith, belief. Because that's the only kind of religion they know. That religion means belief in something. Basically, theistic religion. Worship of God. That's one path. That's one path. You have what? Now the problem with that path is a very obvious problem. Suppose someone does not believe. I don't believe. In that case, it's possible not to believe. That's why there are so many atheists. You cannot believe, especially in this day and age of science, of reason. One may doubt the very existence of such a deity of God. So then that path becomes very difficult. As against that comes the path of yoga, of direct spiritual experience. In the path of yoga, the idea is not that I have to believe in God, but I must experience God, I must see God. That was what transformed Narendranath Datta into Vivekananda. He went around late 19th century Calcutta asking, have you seen God? He didn't ask Ramakrishna, do you believe in God? Or why should you believe in God? No, he said, have you seen God? Vivekananda used to say, if God exists, I should be able to see God. If I have an immortal soul, I should be able to feel it. So this quest for direct experience. This is the yogic path. The classic text is Patanjali Yoga Sutras. There are other texts also. But in all of these, the claim is, it's not a question of believing something. You practice in this way, sit in this way, breathe in this way, focus in this way, withdraw your mind, meditate in this way. You will attain certain spiritual states called samadhi. And in those spiritual states, which are extraordinary mystical states, you will realize the truth of religion. You will have a vision of God. Although Patanjali Yoga Sutra does not say talk about the vision of God. Or vision, or the realization that I am not the body, not the mind, I am the witness consciousness self. These things will become clear to us in experience, not a question of belief. So practical practice and experience. That's the path of mystical experience. Yoga, yogic path. Path of experience, mystical experience. Here also the problem might be, the problem is that these experiences are extraordinary experiences. Everybody doesn't have it. I often say when you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna is going into Samadhi and records it very meticulously. Sri Ramakrishna is talking to the Divine Mother. But have you noticed something? None of the others around us are seeing the Divine Mother. Only he is seeing. None of the others are in Samadhi. Sometimes they attain some ecstatic state, but generally it's not a common state. If it's not a common experience, then the reaction of people is general. First, the reaction of people will be, oh, you're mad. Or you're taking drugs. You're having hallucinations. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna and all the mystics throughout religion, common people, mostly at first they will think he's mad. Now we say he's avatar, Varishta, super mystic. One author called him a super mystic. It's true. So there are genuine mystical experiences which will give us the truth of religion. True. But it can be doubted. It can be doubted. Today, people might not say that you are mad, but the neuroscientists may say we are not doubting that you are feeling one with the universe or you are seeing light. But that's because of some stroke in your brain. There's some problem in the brain, that's why you are having this experience. It's not true. So one can doubt it. One can doubt it. It's not a common experience. How do you distinguish genuine mystical experiences from drug-induced experiences, from mental illness, from hallucinations and so on? As against all of these paths, there is the path of knowledge, of inquiry, vichara marga. Bhakti marga, yoga marga, vichara marga. Advaita Vedanta is primarily a vichara marga. What is a vichara marga? Vichara marga is that based on our already available experience. See, we already have experience. Right now, you are here. Are you a subject experiencing object? Are you a seer seeing the world? Right now, we are seeing the world. Drishya. You are the drashta. Do we have this? Yes, everybody will say, yeah, we have this. So what? This is enough to begin Advaita Vedanta. This is enough to begin the inquiry. Inquiry into what? Into what we already have. So not a question of believing in something. Not even a question of practicing arduous meditation techniques which will take us to extraordinary mystical experience. Rather, a path of inquiring into already available experience. Like subject object. You are the knower and the world is your knower. You are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Who is not doing it? All of us are doing it. This is enough for you to believe. Or waking, dreaming, sleeping. You are awake now, most of us. And sometimes we fall asleep, especially in Vedanta class. And certainly at night. We fall asleep. We dream sometimes. This is enough. All of us have this experience. This is enough. That is enough to inquire into the reality which Advaita Vedanta wants to show us. So, Advaita Vedanta is a vichara marga, path of inquiry, and which will lead us to the truth which Advaita Vedanta claims, that you are Brahman, Tattvamasi, the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. It will lead us there, based on our current experience. The advantage of this is, who can deny? You're depending on only two things. One is commonly available experience. Second is reason. Reason is commonly available experience. Here comes the unique nature of this text. Although it's little known, there are many such texts, but this text is unique, and I believe uniquely suitable for today's audience, for the audience, the world today. Because this author, he relies only on experience and reason. Only on experience and reason. At no point does he say, believe this. At no point does he quote from Upanishads. Everything he's saying is literally a reflection of Upanishad. So this is the cleverness, the skill of this author, that he presents it in the language of experience and reason. All he does is presents our already readily available experience which nobody can deny, and then reasons about it to show us the acquainted truth. Just reason and experience. So I think it's sort of, that's why it appeals easily to today's world, which is difficult to find so much deep faith in today's world. And people take to this kind of argument easily nowadays. Alright. Very skillful author. He's a poet. And throughout you can find examples of his poetry. To really appreciate his poetry, you will have to know a lot of Sanskrit grammar and Sanskrit poetry. But also, he's a master logician. So that really you would appreciate once in a while as we go through it. Alright, so I've made all the introductory remarks that I wanted to make. So the way we will do this is, we will take up verse by verse. Every session we will divide it into a meditation. I think this is a very suitable atmosphere for meditation. We'll divide it into a guided meditation session. Then we'll take up a verse, we'll chant it together. I'll chant and you repeat after me. And then I'll explain the verse for a short while, open it up to Q&A, stop the session. And then take it up to the next session. The meditation we'll do in the second session onwards. Now we will start the text. If you have questions, remember your questions, write it down or keep it in your mind, and you'll get a chance to ask at the end of each session. First verse. While I chant, you can chant after me. Kataksha kirana chanta, Kataksha kirana chanta, Naman mohabdai namaha, Naman mohabdai namaha, Anantananda Krishnaya, Anantananda Krishnaya, Jagat Mangalamurtaye, Jagat Mangalamurtaye. She says, I salute Anantananda Krishna, the embodiment of auspiciousness to the world, who by a ray proceeding from his mere glance destroys the great ocean of delusion of those who surrender to it. Poetry, we can expect this poetry from him. What he's saying here is, this is a salutation. This is called the Mangalachara. So it was the style of authors to start their text, not only spiritual text, any text. It could be text on grammar also. To start the text with a salutation. And salutation is usually to God, usually to the Ishta Devata. In Hinduism, we worship God, but each of us, we are given a mantra and an Ishta Devata, those who have been initiated. And so we focus our efforts to realize God in that direction. That is, for some Rama is the Ishta Devata, for some Krishna, for some Shiva, Devi, Ishta Devata, for some Sri Rama Krishna. So, Ishta Devata. Salutation to Ishta Devata. Also, it is sometimes salutation to the Guru, from whom that author has studied. Here, he does three things. This is a demonstration of his poetic skill. He does three things. He salutes Krishna. Krishnaya Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. Salutations to Krishna, who is probably his Ishta Devata. But he salutes his Guru also. Anantanandaya Namaha. His Guru's name is Anantananda. And of course it goes very beautifully. Krishna is Anantananda. Anantananda means limitless bliss. Krishna, who is of the form of limitless bliss, I salute that Krishna. Meaning number one. Meaning number two. Anantanandaya Namaha. I salute my Guru, whose name is Anantananda. Third meaning. He equates Anantananda, his Guru, and Krishna, who are identical. How is Krishna and Guru identical? Because Guru is none other than Satchidananda, Krishna is none other than Satchidananda. This is the central message of Advaita Vedanta. In Sanskrit, Jiva Brahma Aikyam, the identity of the sentient being and Brahman, the ultimate reality. Existence, consciousness, bliss, and we, sentient beings, we are one and the same. Here he is identifying Guru, who is a sentient being like him, with Krishna, who is Ishta Devata or God, Ishvara, Savana Brahman. Jiva and Savana Brahman identified how? As Satchidananda. That is the whole message of Advaita Vedanta, which will be explained slowly. But he has accomplished this in the first verse. And how does he describe Krishna and his Guru? Kataksha Kiranacharanta, again, very poetic. Naman, the one who surrenders. To who? To Krishna. Or to my Guru, Anantananda. Naman, the one who surrenders to the Guru. What does the Guru or Krishna do for that student who has surrendered, who has bowed down? It says, Ajanka Maha Moha drinks up. Atavana means drinking. Just sipping. Not even drinking like a bottle of water. Just sipping. With one sip drinks up the ocean of delusion. We are in samsara. We are submerged in the ocean of samsara. This is the ocean of delusion. And the Guru, by his grace, or Krishna, Ishtadevata, by his grace, sips up the entire ocean of delusion. How? Kataksha Kirana. By one glance of his merciful eyes. By one glance. What is there we sing every day? Khandana Bhavavandana. Vikshane. Just Ramakrishna. Jnananjana Vimalanayana. With his eyes radiating with the colorium of kajal. Of knowledge, jnana. With one glance at those eyes, he destroys our delusion, our ajnana. So what is this delusion or ajnana? In Advaita Vedanta, the idea is that we are Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. We do not know it. We do not know it. We do not see it. We do not recognize it. And therefore, all of samsara is there for us. Not knowing we are immortal, we think we are this mortal body. The body will die, I will die. Not knowing we are this limitless awareness, we think we are these minds. Anxiety, fear, unhappiness, dissatisfaction, anger, irritation, whatever is happening in those minds, expectation, excitement, all of those things we get identified with. Because we do not know what we are. Then what is the solution? Knowledge. For any ignorant, solution is knowledge. I do not know, suppose, Latin. Then my ignorance of Latin is removed by what? By knowledge of Latin. By knowledge of Latin. I do not know I am Brahman. That is very self. I am Brahman, I don't know. Then this ignorance will be removed by what? Self-knowledge. So, by one glance removes all our ignorance. Swami, can't you do that? Why have we to study this book? Thanks later. That is the glance. That is the Guru's glance. This is the Guru's glance. This text, which is going to remove our ignorance. Now, auspiciousness. Jagan Mangala Muktai. Embodiment of auspiciousness up to the world. Who is embodiment of auspiciousness to the world? Krishna, Guru, Satchidananda. All three have been mentioned here. Who has been mentioned? Number one, Krishna. Number two, Guru, Anantananda. Where is Satchidananda mentioned? Anantananda Krishnaya. That identity of Guru and Krishna. What is that? That is basically Anantananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss, or limitless bliss. So it's been mentioned there. So this is the embodiment of auspiciousness to the world. Mangala. What is auspiciousness? Auspiciousness is moksha, mukti. Inauspiciousness is bondage, bandha. Samsara is inauspiciousness. One kind of joy is Vishayananda, the joy of good food, Vishaya, objects of senses, of relationships, of money, of possessions, all sensory enjoyments. That is called Vishayananda. And those who provide us, those who are worldly, those who want those things in the world, those who provide us with these joys, they will be Mangala Mukti for us. Who is going to, the one who invites me to a party, the one who gives me likes on Facebook, The Mangalamurti, Jagan Mangalamurti. I salute that one. The one who makes me famous and happy and excited, who takes care of me, who gives me money and pleasure and all of that. Jagan Mangalamurti. But then there are those who don't want this, who want Bhajananda, the joy of spirituality, a spiritual retreat like this, study of Vedanta, of chanting, of meditation, of japa, of pilgrimage. All these spiritual practices, this is joyful. So this joy, those who want, Bhajananda, those who provide it, they will be Mangalamurti, Jagan Mangalamurti. And finally there is Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahman. A Brahman which is bliss. Here it is called Anandananda. And that is the highest. So that is Mangalamurti. And it depends, choose what do you want. Vishayananda, Vajananda, Brahma. I want Brahmananda. That Brahmananda you cannot have without giving up Vishayananda and taking up Vajananda. Directly we can't have it. We can't have it because of this ignorance. For some reason we don't have it. It's right here. According to Vedanta, it's right here, right now. All the time available to us. And yet somehow inaccessible to us. Because of our own ignorance. It's like the sun shining there. But if I put my hands before my eyes, I can't see it. The hands have to be removed. That is the goal of Bhajananda, the bliss of. Luckily it is blissful. It is nice to have this solitude, to have a pure gathering of like-minded people and pursue spiritual practices. Now we come to the most important mantra, most important shloka, verse in this whole book. Small book, 28 verses. Actually, first one is Mangalacharana, and last one is a kind of summary of praise of this text. So actually 26 verses. And in all this, most important, luckily, is at the very beginning. Most important. If you take away anything from this entire retreat, it's number 2, verse number 2. So let us chant it and chant after it. Aham asmi sada bhami.
Aham asmi sada bhami.
Kadachinnaham apriyah.
Kadachinnaham apriyah.
Brahmaivaham mata siddham.
Brahmaivaham mata siddham.
Satchidananda lakshanam.
Satchidananda lakshanam.
I am. Ahamasmi. Eternally I shine. Kadabhami. Kadachit naham apriyah. Never am I not beloved. Thus, it is proved that I am verily Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss itself. What the author has done here is, this is in logic, it's called pratigya vakya. That which you want to prove. You want to prove something. So, when we learn Greek logic, Aristotelian logic, the classic example will be, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. So, Socrates is mortal is what you want to prove. And the rest is your argument. Here, what do you want to prove? I am Brahman. And the rest will be, all the verses which will come later, will be answers to our questions. That's why I am saying it's a Manana Grantha. He's given you the information right now. The teaching is given right now. Now, every one of our barrage of questions will come. All the answers will be given in the next 20 or so verses. So, what he does here is, I am Brahman. And he says, we might say, alright, you are saying that at most I may believe you. I am a devout person, a devout Hindu. I believe in the Vedas, Upanishads. Upanishads say that I am Brahman. Alright, but I don't experience. Our main objection will be, it might be true, maybe one day I will experience it. But one thing is sure, I don't experience it now. I am Brahman, I don't experience it now. Says who? Says we. And what does the author say? You are experiencing it now. You are choicelessly experiencing that you are Brahman now. But you don't see it. How? Please, can you show us? Yes, I will show you right now that you are Brahman. What is Brahman? Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. And look at yourself. Aham asmi. I am. I exist. All of us, we that I exist. Look at yourself. I shine. I shine means not that you are radium or you're shining in the dark. I shine means I am aware. I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch. I enjoy, I suffer. I am aware all the time. This awareness, aham asmi, aham bhami, I shine forth. Bhami here means to shine. Bha means to shine forth. That's why sun is called Bhaskar, the one which shines forth. So, I shine forth as awareness. Jyoti to Jyoti, the light of light. The sun is illumining the world. It was dark, I could not see anything. In the morning, as the sun rose above the hills, everything was illumined. So what was dark was illumined by the sun. And the sun, who illumined the sun? None. The sun is self-luminous. You don't need another moon or something else to illumine the sun now. So sun is the source of light. It illumines itself and it reveals itself and illumines everything else. But even the sun, it will not be revealed to you unless you open your eyes. So your eyes, the sun is the light of the world. Here you can see. But your eyes are the light of the sun. Close your eyes, no sun. No world, no sun. But your mind is the light of the eyes. Unless the mind is connected to the eyes, unless you are paying attention, one will look, but one will not be seeing the sun. So, mind is the light of the eyes. What is the light of the mind? Consciousness, awareness, which you are. Aham bhami, I shine. And I am myself the source of never-ending joy or happiness. What do you mean? You can doubt all of these, and all of these will be answered. The doubts will be taken up and answered. But he is pointing out, look, you exist. This is called Sat. You shine forth all the time. This is called Chit. And you are never the source of unhappiness for yourself. You may doubt it, but I will see. You are never the source. I am never the source of unhappiness for myself. This is called Ananda. Therefore, he says, Brahmaivaham atastiddham. It is proof that I am Brahman. How? Satchidananda Lakshanam. What is the definition of Brahman? Satchidananda. What did I find myself to be? Satchidananda. Two things having the same definition must be the same thing. Two things having the same definition must be identical. So I am Brahman. Why? Because we share the same definition. Alright, not so fast, not so easy. We will take it up. We will take it up in the next session. Now, 10 minutes. Any questions? Advaita Vedanta, Vichara Marga, Prakarana Granthas, Aham Brahmasmi. Yes, a question back there. Tell us your name and ask a question.
Yes. My name is Shubha Mukherjee. I am an initiated devotee.
Yes.
My question is, how do I include this Advaita sadhana in my daily spiritual practice?
That's a very important question. Those who are initiated will face this question. There are multiple answers to this. In our tradition, this mantra which we have been initiated by from the Guru and our Ishta Devata has been given. Remember, the nature of the Ishta Devata, here Advaita Vedanta says your nature is Brahman, you are Brahman. But then what is the Ishta Devata? Ishta Devata is Brahman also. He says here, as the poet says, Anantananda Krishnaya. Who is Krishna? Saguna Brahman, Ishta Devata. And who is the Guru? Anantananda, a human being like us. What are they? The same. How? As Brahman. Now in our tradition, it is that just by mantra japa and devotion to Ishta Devata, when you meditate on the Ishta Devata and repeat the mantra, you will go first to feeling the living presence of the Ishta Devata in your heart. Then the vision of the Ishta Devata, living presence, become more or less stable. And this I am reporting from direct testimony by great Swamis. Swami Gambhiranji Maharaj, he was once asked, Shivamanji asked him, and Shivamanji told us actually. He had heard Swami Shivamanji, who later became the vice president of our order, pastor in the COVID. So he told us that one day I heard Swami Gambhirananda, who was the 11th president of our order, at that time he was not even president. We heard that somebody said that he has attained God realization, he has realized God. So I went and asked him. I thought Maharaj was a man of very few words, a very solemn, deep person, the name Gambhira. So I asked him, Maharaj, আপনার কি ভগবান লাভ হয়েছে? Have you realized God? And Gamirati immediately scolded him. He said, let me go, what kind of silly talk is this? এসব কি কথা? Then sure mind, to his credit, and we are getting the benefit. He said, I blocked his path. So you have to tell me, otherwise I won't let you go. Then out of some little annoyance, Gamirati said, I'll tell you the original Bengali words and then translate. He said, Bhagavan Lab বলতে তুমি কি বোঝো? What do you understand by God realization? Whenever I close my eyes, আমি যখনই চোখ বন্ধ করি, whenever I close my eyes, the living form of my Ishta Devata blazes forth in my heart. Ishta Devata jal jal করে ওঠে, হৃদয় জল জল করে ওঠে. I don't know if he said Thakur or Ishta Devata. So, the form of God which he worshipped blazes forth in his heart. How? Effortlessly. যখনই চোখ বন্ধ করি. He's not even trying to meditate. We try to meditate and we struggle to hold on to the visualization, not the living presence, the visualization of the Ishtadevata in the heart. For him, it's a constant, effortless manifestation. Just looks inward and he finds it there. And then he said, তবে এই কি সব? Is this all? সর্বভূতে ঈশ্বর দর্শন করতে হবে না? Don't we have to realize Brahman in all beings? No, this was somebody. This is incredible. So this is the track of sadhana, which you can find detailed explanation by Swami Sarada Tapovan in that chapter on sadhana in Great Master Leela Prasada. Now, from traditional Advaita Vedanta point of view, what will they say? Traditional Advaita Vedanta says what we call Ishta Devata and Mantra Japa, that is Upasana, meditation, worship of Saguna Brahman, of God, worship of God. That should lead next to the study of Vedanta, inquiry into who am I, and the realization that I am Brahman. But that one is an indispensable preliminary according to them. Without Mantra Japa, without the Ishta Devata, you will not progress, this will not be effective. That's the claim of traditional Advaita Vedanta. And there are more radical in the Vedanta. So we'll say, come straight here. I will show you your reality as Brahman. You take your pick. Vidyaranya Swami, he makes a distinction between Kritopasti and Akritopasti. In these two terms, Kritopasti means those who have completed the syllabus, the traditional course of worship, and those who have not completed it. He says, even those who have completed it will easily attain to Brahma Jnana and Jivan Mukti. You will realize this knowledge which is being given them, they will easily realize it, and then this will be transformed into their lives as I am Brahman, they will be able to live it also as Jivan Mukta. Those who have completed that. Completed means at least have darshan of Ishta Devata up to that level. Then, like Swami Sarvapriyananda said, Akritopasti is those who have not completed it. Either they have not finished the sadhana to that level or they have not done that kind of sadhana. But they somehow realize that I am Brahman by the grace of Guru or by the direct teaching of this one. But then Vidyaranya Swami says, they will have to do intensive sadhana in order to transform this knowledge into Jivan Mukti. He says in Jivan Mukti Viveka. Yes. Can I say name and ask the question?
Sridhar's right. Question is...
Oh, one more, sorry. I had asked this question to a very great monk, Upen Maharaj, Swami Nirmuktananda, disciple of Swami Shivananda. What is the connection between the Ishta Devata which Guru has given us a mantra and the Atman which is taught in Advaita Vedanta? Then he said to me, duto adi, the two are one, same thing. One is the name and form, one is pure consciousness itself, the same thing. He said, Tumi Kishoroni, haven't you heard what Sri Ramakrishna said to Akhandananda? You remember this Swami Nirmuktananda, he served Swami Akhandananda. So he heard it directly from Swami Akhandananda. Sri Ramakrishna's answer to your question, I should have started with that. Sri Ramakrishna's answer to your question is Jejal Ishto Shetaratma. Jejal Ishto Shetaratma. Whoever is your Ishta Devata, that is the Atma. That is the Atma. With a coating of name and form. Of course, Ramakrishna didn't add that. I'm adding it here. Yes. Question.
When we do mantra, when we do japa, how do we converge the entire Indriyas, all our entire entire focus into the japa.
Not
What is the
relevant.
technique?
Not relevant to it. You see, the text does not talk about that. You can say how you connect, but what you are asking is a question to be asked to the Guru. It's part of your technique of mantra sadhana. Yes. So let's name and ask the question.
I'm Shagarika. You very clearly distinguish between Sravana, Manana and Nidhyasana.
Nidhyasana, yes.
So different type of texts. So as a common person, if you pick up a book, how do we understand which book is that? That's a Manana book or a Sravana?
Doesn't matter. All the books will give you the basic teaching first. All the books will give you the basic teaching first. That you are Brahman. Like just now we heard. You are Brahman. It's the teaching. So, the Shravana of the teaching is complete in every text. Now if you see, there is a preponderance of logical argumentation. That is called, that's Libya. That you can classify as a Manana Brahman. It's a classification I'm doing just for our benefit. It's not that in the library you will find Shravana text, Manana text, Nidhyasana. One more question here. Two questions, yes. Please answer the question. Tell us your name.
Shormila Basu Thakur. While you were discussing Shravana, Manana and Nididhasana apni point out করলেন যে continuously points out Brahman in our daily experience. এইটা কি যেটা আগে বললেন আগের সেম সেই উত্তরটাই বলতে চাইছিলেন?
You are asking what is Nidhyasana?
নিদিধ্যাসনে হ্যাঁ.
Yes. So Nidhyasana is meditation. But what is the unique nature? This meditation and meditation. In yogic meditation is one thing. When we do mantra japa and Ishta Devata Dhyana, that's one thing. What is this Vedantic meditation? Nidhyasana. So, the knowledge that you get from Shravana, from studying of this text, then from understanding it. Reading and understanding are two different things. Then in understanding it, when you have got clarity. After that, to make this knowledge, which is clear to you now, a living reality. What do I mean by living reality? Because people complain that I have understood it intellectually, but it's not. Or I understood that I am Brahman, but in life I find it very difficult to live like that. To make it a living reality, this Nidhyasana is used. Let me give you the technical background of it. There are three kinds of problems which are solved by Shravana, Manana and Nidhyasana. Each one addresses a particular problem. One is called Pramaya Sambhavana. The ignorance or the impossibility regarding the object of Vedanta. Pramaya means object. What is Vedanta trying to teach? You are Brahman. This I did not know. That not knowing is solved by Shravana. When you hear it, now you know. And you can hear it in many, many ways. All Upanishads are teaching it, that you are Brahman. Yama taught it to Nachiketa in Kathopanishad. In Mundakopanishad, Angira taught it to Shaunaka. Shvetaketu's father taught it to Chandogya Upanishad. All of them teaching the same thing. It's Shabbat, finished. Now many questions will come. Even in the Upanishads you will find a lot of reasoning, sometimes, where doubts are raised. Shvetaketu also did not learn in the first instance. 6 times, 9 times. His father told him 9 times. In the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. So that is Manan. That is called Pramana Sambhavana. The teaching itself is not clear to me. First of all, what is the teaching I did not know? Now I know. Sure. Now the teaching itself is not clear to me. I have heard the teaching. I don't understand. How am I Brahman? I have many, many questions. Just a minute, you said I am Brahman. But Brahman is, it's not, you are saying something silly. I exist, therefore I am Brahman. But Brahman is eternal. I am not eternal. You will answer that question. Brahman is everywhere. I am not everywhere. I am just here in this little office. Look at the vast world there. How am I everywhere? All pervasive, Sarvapriyananda. So these are all doubts. That will be answered in the second stage. That is Manana. Third is Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Bhavana means the result is not coming. The result should be attainment of bliss and overcoming of suffering. After realizing, understanding all of these things also, after understanding also, still suffering is there. Heat and cold, Pleasure and pain and old age, disease, death, all these are creating suffering for me. Why? Just if I don't get Facebook likes, I get suffering. Well, that suffering is there. It's not being removed by this Vedanta. So how to remove, make this knowledge effective? Viparita bhava. Viparita means opposite. Contrary tendencies are going on in my life. Till now it is not contrary. I am afraid because it's very natural to be afraid. I am a human being, I will get old and die, so I am afraid. Why should I not be afraid? COVID will affect me, make me suffer and I will die, or I will suffer a lot. Why should I not be afraid of COVID? So therefore, being afraid is very natural now. But once I realize this, understand Vedanta, I am immortal consciousness, I will not die, I will not get COVID. Still I feel afraid. Why? This is Viparita bhava. This only can be removed by constant meditation on the knowledge which has been acquired and clarified. Acquired by Shravana, clarified by Manana. Now, this meditation technique, what are they? There are many such techniques. We will do in the next session one such technique. These techniques are, for example, Drigdrishya Viveka. This one does not suggest any particular technique. In Drigdrishya Viveka, 6 techniques are suggested. In Aparoksha Anubhuti, 15 techniques are suggested. In Vivek Chudamani, in one place, a very beautiful sequence. I think verse number 254 or something. 10 verses are there. They are Nididhyasa verses written by Shankaracharya. Very beautiful. One verse, so it comes later, 254. Before that, 250 verses are gone. So whole of Advaita Vedanta, Shravana Manana has been done. Now he says, stay here, listen, stay with this. But staying with it is called non-dual meditation. Last question.
Just one thing.
Yes.
Will Nididhyasana lead to moksha?
We'll see. Answer is no. What will lead to moksha? Nothing. The real answer is nothing will lead to moksha because you already have moksha. Moksha swarupa, you are moksha, according to Advaita Vedanta. It cannot be attained because it is ever attained. Now, we only suffer from the ignorance, the feeling that we are not mukta, we are not free. This ignorance is removed by Advaita Vedanta. Now you might ask, will Nididhyasana remove the ignorance? No, they will say, ignorance is removed by Shravana and clarified by Manana, and the result comes from Nididhyasana. If the result is not coming, they speak of 3 categories of students. One category, they need to hear the teaching, they are free. Second category, they need to hear it and then reasoning to understand it, and they are free. Third category, they hear it, they understand it, still they complain, grumble. I am not getting the result which was promised. Then they did Nididhyasana. Practically, what should we do? Practically, everything we have to do. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana for Vichara Marga. This is all 3 together will be Vichara. Then also the Upasana with Ishtadevata, Mantra, Upasana, and Karma Yoga. Transform our lives into ethical and unselfish lives. All of them are foundational. Otherwise, this will not work. This will just remain as I learned a nice philosophy. That's something. Good. Vichari will take up the question next. Or just outside at tea. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Paramastu.
The tea will be served upside,